Oliver and Jumpy by Werner Stacekow, Volume 12. Flood, How I Found My Top Hat, Rescue in the Picture. Is this your first encounter with Oliver and Jumpy? Yes? Then let me tell you about them. Oliver is an elegant tomcat, and Jumpy is his best friend. They are always on the lookout for new adventures together. Oliver lives in a treehouse on the mighty oak tree. He is the most famous cat in the country. Flood by Werner Stacekow. Illustrator Macy Ann Reyes. Wind whispered through the leaves in my oak tree and all around the treehouse. The sound was becoming increasingly noisy, and I woke up suddenly when a branch banged against the roof. I stretched my legs, yawned, and said, "Good morning, world. I hope you all had a lovely sleep and nice dreams." I could see all the trees swaying in the breeze. The wind continued to increase by the minute. Dark clouds soon began appearing on the horizon. I love watching fast-moving clouds. You can see all sorts of figures and shapes in them. Some look like sheep and others the shape of a ship sailing through the skies. Try it yourself. On a windy, cloudy day, lie down in the grass and watch the heavens. Soon the gusting wind was gathering clouds, and the sky became dark, as if someone had thrown a cloth over the sun. There was a crash of lightning, and booming thunder soon rolled over the country. I quickly had breakfast and then called out for Jumpy and Joey, inviting them to shelter at my treehouse. We huddled in the house, sipping chamomile tea to keep us warm, since the temperature had dropped measurably. The lightning felt closer now, and the brutal wind was ripping the leaves from my oak tree. Suddenly, a forked firebolt, a deafening noise, and the tree next to us exploded into flames. The first raindrops had already started to play their music. Drippity-drop, they hit the leaves. Within minutes, sheets of rain poured down. The streams were overflowing and the ground mushy. The land was under water. Several animals requested my hospitality. Molly the mole was the first one to arrive. Her tunnels were all flooded. Molly could not climb trees and was too small for the trampoline. I fetched her up the way kittens are picked up by their mums. We soon had a lot of different animals in my house. We had to establish some rules. Everybody listen, we have an emergency. It is necessary to stay civilized. Nobody is allowed to eat anybody else in this house. We don't know how long we are going to be up here, so let's play some games to pass the time. Help! A feeble voice was calling from the water. Somebody was barely holding on a floating tree trunk. It was a little soaked chihuahua. We need a volunteer to save the dog. The monkeys created a chain with their arms and rescued the dog. We were packed like sardines and had become very hungry. I sent out a message for help. Soon we could see a fleet of pelicans approaching. Each one dumped his heavy load onto the veranda. We soon had enough food for everybody. A ray of sunshine tickled my nose, and I had to sneeze. Waking up, I realized that the rain had finally stopped. "Please, dear sun, drink up the water and dry the earth quickly, so we can go home soon," I requested from the sun. "I will try my best, but it is a lot of water." And so it was. It took the rest of the day and night. The next morning everything was back to normal, and the animals could leave my sanctuary. The lesson of this story is that we can overcome any problem if we help each other. Rainy bye. Find out how Oliver got his head. How I Found My Top Hat by Werner Stacekow, illustrator Macy N. Reyes. I have always been fussy about my appearance. One day I walked past a second-hand shop, and my life suddenly changed. In the window was a white top hat. I had to have it. I entered the shop with the hope of purchasing it, but was sorely disappointed by the old man behind the counter. The hat was far too expensive. I had to earn money. I decided to help the milkman. At that time, horse carriages loaded with glass bottles still traveled along the neighborhoods, delivering fresh milk every morning. My job was to jump off the truck and bring the bottles. The milk had to be ready for breakfast. On my first day, I hurried too much, and a bottle slipped from my hand and broke on the cobblestones. The driver became angry with me. My accident slowed down the deliveries, because I had to clean up the broken glass. I soon became quite fast and proficient with my deliveries. Every day I saved the few coins I earned for my work. I put them into an old sock and hid them under my bed. After saving up sufficient money, I ran to the shop. I could not believe my eyes. The hat was gone. The salesman told me that somebody had bought it. I was so disappointed. It was to be my Christmas present. I walked home in despair. My family had been waiting for me. The Christmas tree lights were shining brightly. Many packages were under the tree. My brothers and sisters opened their presents. Finally, one big box was left. It was mine, but I was too distressed to open it. Mom asked me to open it. I slowly unwrapped the present and realized with great joy that it contained my beloved top hat. Mom had heard of my passion and purchased it for me. I was so happy that I wore it right away and never left the house without it. Hattie bye! Check out this clever way to travel. Rescue in the Picture by Werner Steskow. Illustrator Macy N. Reyes. Traveling can be very complex. I have a simpler way. I put up my easel and paint a picture of the place I want to visit. I include Jumpy, Joey and myself. Then we enter the place through the picture by magic. We found ourselves standing on the beach. Waves were rolling behind us as palm trees swayed in the gentle breeze. Don't you think this is a good way to travel? We decided to explore the island and walked inland. Unexpectedly, we arrived at a clearing. Before us was a small lake with a noisy waterfall coming down from a cliff. What a sight! Hot and bothered from the long hike, we found the cool water very inviting. Let's have a swim! Jumpy agreed. As a water-shy cat, I just dipped my feet into it. The kangaroos had lots of fun. I walked around the lake and noticed a path leading behind the falls. There was a little cave with a kind of funnel reaching up to an opening high in the ceiling. "Come here," I called. Joey saw a hole up in the ceiling and cried, "Who is up there?" The funnel leading to the opening was like a chimney and magnified sound. Then we ate a snack and took a nap. The walk and swim had made us very tired. "Hua hua he! Naga naga niki daga!" We woke and looked through the waterfall. There, on the shore, a group of natives were dancing around a tree. We hid in the cave. Then I noticed a pretty girl tied to a tree. She was a prisoner. We had to help. Let's all call together. With all our might, we screamed into the funnel. "Wah, wah, wah, tsugu nugu kul." Our combined effort created a huge racket. The natives froze instantly, awestruck. Then everybody ran off hurriedly. We quickly freed the girl. She was horrified and did not know what to think of a cat and two kangaroos. We beckoned her to follow us to the beach. We had to get back to the original spot where we had arrived. "Everybody down!" I called softly. We still had visitors on the beach. The natives had come with several dugouts and were packing them with bananas. But in a short time the boats were only small dots on the horizon. Soon we felt safe enough to hurry to the beach. Once we had arrived at the same spot where we had landed, we all huddled together with the girl in our midst. We bowed our heads and prayed to return. Whoosh! What a miracle! All of us were right in the middle of my living room again, along with our very surprised native girl. She got used to Zealandia in no time at all. Picky bye. Thank you very much for reading Oliver and Jumpy. You are now a special friend, and you'll be able to take part in all their adventures.